Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We are back for another week, and almost lost my voice there, but it has finally happened. After all this time, all this waiting, every week I come on to the podcast surrounded by losers. Losers to the left of me, losers to the right of me, losers in my own chair. And I have to every week talk about Flesh and Blood. But this week, we finally have a winner. We have someone who has finally done it. They are not a loser this week. This week, I am joined by the great Connor. I think you've evolved. You're no longer just Connor. You are the great Connor. You're the next level has been achieved. Noah has lost his name. He is now Connor. So if you see Noah out in public, you are only allowed to refer to him as Connor. You can refer to the old Connor as Connor. And then we have Lucas. I don't care about what you guys did this week. Nothing you did was probably nearly close to as good as what we have. But I am so happy to have Connor on, taking his win down. Finally, we could say he's easily one of the best DO players of all time. I think all the credentials kind of say that. But I want to know, and I think everyone wants to know, if you haven't heard, you went to Montreal, you went to the Canadiens, and you won. I want to hear about your run. I want to hear about what happened. What did you think as you were going into your top 8? I think we'll just start off with, tell me about your week in Flesh and Blood.
We did it, dude. We finally did it. I was wow. What can I say? You're making me blush. But no, it was sick, dude. It was so sick. My girl Dash, just beautiful in every way. The deck was singing, dude. It was crazy. Like I committed atrocities against people on some of these turns, and I was like, oh, I'll surely like have a hard round, and it was just like, nope. Just deck was running so hot, and it was a long week or whatever. Like I don't know, it's like the games are quick, but there are so many decisions in there. It's like it felt like the longest day of my life, whatever. But I did a good job just staying in the moment and keep working through each turn and everything. And dude, it was sick.
So day 1, how many wins did you have? You only lost 1.
So I started 6-0.
Nice.
And I lost to Tao Tao the last round of the day. Got fatigued by Huntsman. But starting 6-0 was sick. I played against an Ailio, a Gravy, and then I played against Hamilton on Ailio, which we had a crazy game against Hamilton where I mean, obviously DO into Ailio, null time zones like the only card that matters. So you just like put it into play, they can't combo you, then you just have to have a really good clock. And I was like flooded on null time zones at one point. I like had one in play, had Arsenal at another, and then saw the third one on top of my deck. And I was like, well, I don't want that right now, but I want to like pitch it to get back to my deck. So I peed myself one turn to like keep the third null time zone in there or whatever. But and then just I had found a Fast and Furious off of it and stuff like that, and just kept them locked down and stuff. And then I don't know. I remember the rest of the day. It was just like RKO, a couple other random decks, whatever, and then lost to Tata at the end of the day. Where I like made a kind of stupid mistake, and I was like beating myself up. I gave myself like 5 minutes to be mad, and then I was like, nope, okay, we're good. And then just went to dinner and hung out with my buddies and had a good time and stuff. And then on day 2,
I can't even imagine you being mad. I don't think I've ever.
I was
like I'm a salty little bitch.
You haven't seen Connor mad. I will say I think it's entertaining.
I get mad at myself, whatever. That's mostly what it is, whatever.
Of course.
Yeah, for like 2 minutes. And it's like and it's like the softest mad I've ever seen in my life. You're just like naturally too happy or like cheerful, or you just get over it. I'm like a salty bitch a whole weekend. When I like sometimes, but like Connor's just like, man, I made a mistake. I think I punted that game. I'm so mad at myself. Okay, so what are we doing next? I don't. And it's just like he's just done. It's magical. That's why.
Well, the thing is, I've punted a lot of games. You know what I mean? When you do it all the time, you're like, well, that was the one I was going to lose. I messed up. All right, like, I got unlucky by me being an idiot for like 30 seconds. But no, it's good though. And then day 2 rolled along. I played against June round 10, and she was my second loss in the Swiss. June played Vincent. We met in the finals. Obviously, like Vincent, one of the big stories of the weekend. It's awesome though, because June's like one of my locals. Like we play at the same store in Albany, New York, and meeting, like playing at table 1, round 10 of the calling is a winning in, and you're like, Jesus, like this is as cool as it gets. And she absolutely demolished me. She had the nastiest like turn 0 setup, just like Malefic, Deadwood Dirge, exiled like a widespread annihilation, Arsenal succumb to temptation. I was like, okay. And she just rolled me. And then I had to battle the great Naib in the next round on Fi for a winning in. And I've ever since the card was printed, the first time I ever saw this card, Pulse Wave Harpoon, I was like, this card is absurd against ninjas. And I just played Pulse Wave Harpoon every turn of the game against poor Naive and like ended with a match or whatever. And I was able to race him and got there. But thankfully, Naive was able to like win the next round and get 8th. Like just snuck in there.
It was low-key kind of clutch that you won, actually, not just so that like, you know, you could do well, but that being the only timeline that actually ended up with 2 Runaways in top 8 was pretty sick.
Yeah, because the last round I played against a Valda player who was X3, where I was X2. And we played a super close game where like I just snuck through and got him at the end to like blow up the last boom grenade in my deck. So then I got to be like, because I needed to win that match. I knew I was locked, but I was like, being on the play is so good. It's so good for my deck. Like I just have to be on the play in top 8. And snuck through and got through the Valda. And then top 8, I played against Joe Birch on Ailio. I mean, we saw the top 8, right? It was like Vincent, KO, a Dory deck, Fatigue Ira, 2 Ailios, myself on Dio, and Fi. Just like a super diverse, like kind of all fast decks, whereas Dio, I'm like very happy in that setup. But in top 8, I played against Joe Birch on Ailio. And Joe is from Cody's area. He's like from Philly, right? Philly area.
He's good.
Really fun. He's good. He's really fun. Like cool guy to talk to, a Ailio player. And like a month ago, he had messaged me and was like, "Hey, can we play Dio versus Ailio games?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so we played a couple games, and I like learned some stuff. I was like, "Oh, AB3 is really good into Ailio," and then I'm like cutting my max fees because like I can never clunk. I just need to be able to like dig through my deck, turn through my deck. And then a week ago, like maybe this, like actually last week, we played some games again. And then him and I meet top 8 of the calling, and it's just like, okay, like now this one's for real. Like, and just like a god, I just had an all-time zone every time and just shut him down, unfortunately. And then my top 4 match against Ira is on the feature match. That game was pretty sick. I thought I navigated it really well. I got very lucky with my last like big hand being double spark. I was like, okay, I think we can kind of cobble something together here to like get over the top. And I was like, oh, we found it. This is like gonna be the turn or whatever. With like 12ish cards left in my deck, just like killed him from 15 or something like that. And that was sick though. And then when June was playing her match, June's match against the KO deck was pretty insane because the KO tried to like fatigue her. So the game went super long. It was like back and forth. Meanwhile, O'Connor's just like over there eating a sandwich, just like kind of waiting or whatever. And just like talking to people and stuff like that. And then right before the finals, there's this really funny clip of Kobe Bryant like during the NBA finals. And I think they're up like 2-0 in the finals.
Yep.
And this reporter's like, "You don't seem very happy. Like, why aren't you smiling? Like, you're up 2-0 in the finals." And Kobe's like, "Job's not done. What's there to be happy about? Job's not done." And so I just watched that. And I was just like, "Job's not done, dude. We're not done. We got to get one more, and then we get the freaking trophy." And so shout out to Kobe for the motivation. So I got the mama mentality going.
Second best Brian on that day.
Yeah, dude, real. And then in the finals against June, that game was pretty cool too. I was definitely behind early. I was definitely
you were.
I thought I was dead. I thought I was like not gonna get there.
Well, you sat there with a smile on your face. If I was in that spot in the finals that you were after like round 2, I'd have been like, of course, this is my life. I'm just here, just no hand again, just getting rolled. Like you open, she doesn't attack you, so you're like you're kind of happy about that, but your hand doesn't play at all at the opener. It was just like, it was like bad.
It was a classic Dio hand, like 3 items, a shitty boost attack. I'm like, oh Christ. But at least I was able to play Pounder and like sell myself on a future or whatever. But yeah, no, like I found a couple really good items off the top.
Oh, you hit
Like
that
a Cerebellum
processor? And I was like,
it was so good.
there's a chance. Like the second I saw the processor
was
come
so
down, I
good.
was like, you could come back at this.
And it was just like on top. I didn't go digging for it. It was just right there. I was just like, thank you, Lord, thank you. I kind of thought I might have lost the game because I just like kind of made a bad mistake where there's like a turn where she goes like plays an attack, like kills my arsenal or something, and then plays a swings flail of agony. And I wanted to block it because she was on 1 rune chant. So like if I block it, then she has to find a 2-cost rune gate card or an additional like rune chant maker. And so I block it with a yellow 0-60 instead of, and then my hand is like a blue throttle and heist. And I have a pounder in play. So I'm like, oh, I was going to throttle for 8 and then shoot my gun. And then, or I could actually throttle Foundry Heart, throw both attacks on the same turn or whatever. But then the second I go to my turn thinking about that, I'm like, she's going to obviously face perk me. That's the most obvious face perk I've ever seen in my life or whatever. And so I should have just kept the 0-cost attack, attacked with that first. And then if she wants to block 5, like my 5-power attack with face perk, okay, that's fine. But instead I was like, oh no, I'm going to get face perk into Oblivion. Yeah. And I did or whatever. And then I think I found an item off the top though or something. It's wild. I don't remember any of these games either. I just remember very few details of these. And then I'm just able to like shoot her with my 2, and then she had like a kind of mid-ish turn where she just threw like widespread annihilation and like killed my crappy arsenal card or whatever. And then I found another item off the top and was just able to play that last max fiend, get through for the last 2 and everything. So it was sick. It was so sick.
I wanted to ask why did you choose Dirge off null instead of like something
I was thinking it was like
see on the board?
What card?
That null time zone says you can't play it from hand.
Fair. I guess I did not realize that at the time.
Yeah. Well, I was
thinking is Dirge your normal call against them?
I don't know. I always changed it up. Okay. I put my thumb. I don't know. Well, like, how's the wind blowing? And then I decide on what I want to name off Dirge.
Dirge made a lot of sense in that spot because she had already used her Quill Hand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
had she used Quill Hand yet? I thought she'd use only the Grimoire.
At least the book. She definitely used the Grimoire.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think she'd use the book already, but not Quill Hand. I'd have to go back and watch. But I was just curious if you have a default.
Yeah. No. Not really. It depends on like. She also had multiple attacks. Like she already had 1 attack chilling in Rune Gate. So Dirge can let her play the 2 attacks in 1 turn or whatever. But I'm like open to arguments for like.
Is there ever a
Rune Chant?
Why don't you just call it Cull so that you can keep your hand or Succumb or something?
Well, Succumb's probably the better one, but
yeah.
There's some interesting play with Cull where I think she had a recesses. I don't remember it. I'm also mixing the games up, but if preventing Cull also prevents recesses from turning into a disruptive card potentially. So like even though Succumb I think is the better card, there's like slightly higher upside there sometimes.
If she banishes the Cull though, she can just play it from banish, right?
You're right, I'm a fool. Yeah.
And yeah. But no, I think Succumb is a really good name too, because that's also like it's like an extender too. That card's so broken. That's honestly the best card of the deck. Like that card's
Malefic as well. If you want to call just
Malefic's really good one too. I think Ellie said that on coverage. I think Malefic, they just play 6 of them, so maybe that's just inherently better than Dirge or whatever. But I was thinking the game's gonna be short.
I think I'd call it Succumb personally, but yeah.
I think it depends a lot on like how many of their free rune chant equipment they have, because if they have like no Quill Hand and no book, calling Dirge especially if they have like 2 attacks in banish, I feel like does actually make a lot of sense. But yeah, if they're like loaded up, they got like a rune chant floating, they got like nothing going on, they got all their stuff left, probably something like a Succumb is like a safer thing, or like Reduce. If you're gonna like you're like playing a boom grenade this turn or something like that, maybe you call Reduce.
Yeah. Reduce has the highest upside because that card just sucks.
Speaking of Reduce, when she went draw double Reduce on that last turn, when I was watching on coverage, I was fuming. I was scared. I was so worried. And then I realized you just had like 40 damage. It didn't matter.
Dude, I flashback to when in top 4 of Call in Kansas City, I played with Jacob Clements, and he said his 2 blood on the waters.
Oh
on
God,
the
I
same turn,
hated
like,
watching. I was
blocked up my
standing
boom
over there.
grenade. I was just like, no, not again. And then she had a 2 block, and I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. But no, dude, it was sick. It was so sick, dude. I got the Lucas. When you won, did they put it in a little box like this?
Yeah, it's awesome. Dude,
It's
it's
so
like
good.
if I feel
The
like
little
it's like a
little flexors.
secret business thing. Yeah,
Yeah, Inflexors is a good one to
gotta
get.
pull it out of
It's
the
sick.
briefcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sick one.
It's funny. I feel like as a
But-
Dio player too, that's kind of funny. Like you got like you can style on everybody else because you have the like anti-Dio card in the.
I hate that card, dude. The amount of times that card like blocked out my high octanes, I was like, this is BS.
Oh yeah,
That's
Dude,
bullshit.
in
Right there. Yeah,
I've had
like-
LL games where I pitch my whole hand to quick dodge flexor.
You're gonna have to run it in Dio now, so that you can play the card.
Just so you can play the chip.
Yeah.
No. This baby's gonna find a new home. Don't you worry. It's pretty, but
What he's saying is
No.
that if you, the listener at home, would like to purchase this Quick Dodge Flexors, it is available for sale.
no, the trophy that was sick. The last trophy is really cool too. But it was sick though, dude. Definitely one of the weekends of my life. Definitely.
Well, you've been on a tear for like the last year. I mean, including like
Yeah.
Worlds, the other tops that you've had. I mean,
Mhm.
it's been long overdue, and you've put infinite time into Dio. So I am not surprised that it finally happened. But I was
I popped it.
very happy.
I
Well, not
popped
just
into
Dio.
I just play a ton in general. But what's nice is because I know I'm gonna play Dio in every tournament, I can build other decks. Like I know I already have my deck built or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care about. But then I can build like Riptide and Silver Age or whatever like random nonsense that really scratches my itch, and then just go play Dio on Saturday or whatever.
It's not just Dash.io either. It's like just Dash. Like you've been playing Dash since I know you. I've known you since Pro Tour Baltimore, and you've been playing the same hero the whole time.
Yeah. I played Dash in that Pro Tour. It was sick.
Yeah, I remember.
I love Sparta Genius, dude. That card is nasty. It's like the
card is
grossest
disgusting.
card ever.
It's
I got
filthy.
to make my favorite play, which is Sparta Genius for 4 to get Pounder when you have like an extra action point.
Mm.
And then you get to like draw a card and then like attack with the Pounder, like get the +2 from the Pounder on that turn, and like it's so nasty. So nasty. But yeah, the Dio's great though. It's sick. I'm gonna do an update to the Metafy guide too. Hopefully by tomorrow or the day after. But to like because I added Trebuchet, there were some small changes, some sideboard guide updates, stuff like that. So keep your eye out for that too. But I don't know. Dio, why does he even play anything else besides Dio? But then people
I actually,
Pierre
I
came up to
feel
me. Pierre came up to me. He's like, "You playing Dio?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he's like, "You're the only one that can do good with it." And I'm like, "I don't know why. I'm not smart. Like, I don't get it."
I've been
And I feel
playing.
like-
I've been playing Dio for like 2 days since you won, and I'm kind of on board, dude. This deck's kind of broken. Like, you do some nasty stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're like the only Dio I've ever seen who just beats people who are trying to fatigue them.
Mhm. You gotta
So-
be crafty. That's what it is. Yeah, you sneak in little chip shots. I mean, that's how the Ira player like. I got to like leak one or two, and then it's like he's at 15, and I was like, all right, here's the big one to try to finish you off, whatever. But yeah, it was sick. But
Yeah.
shout out to June getting second with Vincent. Shout out to Naib getting top 8 with Nimby, Phi, and a bunch of weird 1s and 2s and 3s of like classic Naib.
It was a naive deck.
He's like-
yeah.
I walked over. He's like building his deck 10 minutes before the tournament. He's like, "Should I put this card in my deck or this card?" I'm like, "I don't know, bro. You just that's up to you." Like,
Yellow
I don't
Wax
know.
On or Yellow Sirens of Safe Harbor.
I haven't
Yellow Wax
figured
On
out
is-
if naive would
No,
do better
don't,
with a
no.
real deck or with just a naive deck.
I think I
He'll
don't
never know,
if-
man. He'll never play a real deck.
I don't know if Naib the player bails out Naib the deck builder, or if it's like Naib the deck builder is perfect for Naib the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he draws up the perfect
Yeah.
spot stuff. Like
It's
it's
gotta
really
be-
incredible.
I think it's a combination of both. Like I think like he like knows all of the like weird sauce to like juice his
Mhm.
opponents with his weird cards, but like he's also not so unplayable that like he lets just playing some terrible cards keep him down.
Right. Like, and he always is like knows how to warp games around cards when he finds them or whatever. And like sitting down against him for my winning in, dude, was so scary. Like Naib's really good at Ninja, and like I don't know, he's just he's so good. He's so good at the game. But yeah, he killed it, and there's a bunch of cool decks on top here to check out. That was good.
Fair enough. Well, I'm very happy with your win. I was cheering you on from Vegas. It was great. I was super excited. Now, to hear about some people's weeks who are far less exciting, let's start with Connor, aka Noah. If you would like to tell me, you went to this tournament. I didn't see anything about you at this tournament, unfortunately. You were playing KO. Please tell me about your week. How did your tournament go, Connor?
Okay. Since there can't be two Connors in the same room, I had to stay silent for a while. But now I think I'm allowed to talk. So yeah, I drove up. I did a repeat of the last time I was in Montreal, where I drove up with Pierre, Jason flew in from London, and then Tommy. And we were going this time like, all right, let's. Last time we had a 50% top 8 rate. Let's see if we can double it. Instead, we subtracted 50% rather than add 50%. But yeah, it was just I don't know. It was one of those tournaments where I felt like I couldn't win. I was talking with some people there since I didn't do as well in the tournament. I had lots of people watching Connor's games and all the people on stream in top 8. I was just like commiserating about the game and stuff. I tend to do this, I think, when I do poorly at a tournament. It's just like really isolate all the things that I don't like as opposed to the things that went well. I finished just outside of the cash, by the way. I got 8-4, finished like 35th. So not horrendous, but like obviously not good. The two games that I lost to Ailio were ones where it gave me that feeling of just like, this is not my weekend, given that I dedicated a bunch of spots to him. I played Weakest Link and Amnesia. Amnesia being a card that is decent coverage into the ninjas, because I wasn't sure if there was going to be like Katsus and Fais. And then also it basically is just like a ghetto Weakest Link if you want to not think about it too hard, and that it makes them pitch a card for using Volzar because they don't count as sigils. And it doesn't matter how many cards you put in your deck to disrupt someone if you don't draw them on the first turn and they just play their game like Kano and Arsenal gone in a flash and have 5 instants, you're kind of cooked. 5 instants meaning, they use the hat to get back brilliance. So yeah, I had 2 games that basically went just like that, where I only got to have 1 turn to find something, and if it's not enough, I just basically am down to 7 or 8 HP, and you can't really come back from that point.
Yeah, the Brilliance opener is what frustrates me about the deck as much as well.
It was especially frustrating too, because literally round 1, I attacked turn 0 after they played a Sigil of Solace, thinking like, oh, okay, like I can probably get some damage in. Their hand blocks 9, but it includes a gun and a flash. So I was like, oh, okay, this is probably good. They block with gun and a flash. Their next turn is Brilliance, Conductivity, Arsenal, second gun and a flash. I was like, yeah, I'm being punished for something I've done for sure. So yeah, I managed to get some tough wins against Vincent, Verdance. The strategy I used was kind of similar to what Wesley did in the top cut, where you just like side out every good card from your deck, like all the Stampedes, Wild Rides, Red Bear Fangs, and then you just try to be defensive and hope to catch them off guard. I think it works decently well when they don't know what's coming and they still have like defense reactions in their deck, maybe like Haunting Renditions, those types of cards. If they're prepared for it, it probably doesn't work, but I think KO Vincent is like 10% as is, so you got to try something. I was curious too how the finals would have been if it had been the Dio versus KO, Connor, because like I don't know, the ending of that KO game was just quite depressing. I could see like just watching from in person when June drew up that hand that just had no attacks. Like she had 4 cards in hand, 2 rune chants on the board, just like literally, or 1 rune chant, but going to 2 with the banish. Like literally any attack just should seal the deal there, and then she just has to send the flail on 4 cards, giving Wesley the chance. Then he draws up. It's 2 no blocks. He dies. It was just like a crazy ending. Like we watched this whole match. Go ahead.
Not even just 2 no blocks. The fact that it's 2 no blocks and 2 blocks, like any 3 block, and he lives through the turn and can potentially win.
Yeah. It was funny in the at the time we were all not chirping him directly, but just like discussing about how it was a misplay to block to not block the flail because June only had 3 cost rune gates left. But I was thinking more about it last night, this morning, whatever. And the card that June blocked with was a yellow, the 3 for 6 that hits the arsenal. So if he hadn't thrown the claw, she could have just kept that and hard cast it from the hand, pitching the other yellow. And then the fact that Wesley has 2 blocks, like you said, Lucas, she gets there on the 2 physical there anyway. So yeah, his goose was cooked regardless. I think a lot of the games. Go ahead.
I don't know. I didn't watch 100% of the game with my full attention, but I did hear the casters mention at the end of the game that he missed a might token somewhere throughout the game that like might have been consequential as well. Obviously, at the end of the game, it was 1-1, and 1 life either way definitely would have swayed the outcome. Feels like.
Yeah, for sure.
But shout out to Wesley. That's a friend of mine. I'm happy that he did well. Sad that his game was so tragic for him in the end.
Okay, let me tell one more story too, then I'll shut up. There was a story of another KO. This was Jordan Jalbert Ross, I think is how you pronounce his name. Yeah, super good Canadian player. It was funny looking at the standings too. It was like after you reach like 9-16, it was like all Canadians. But then yeah, the top 8 was dominated by the US. So anyways, yeah, this game I was watching, it was against a Riptide. There was a Riptide that was like pretty decently high up. I think this is maybe round like 10 or so. 10 or 11. Jordan basically is put in a position where he has to play Tear Limb from Limb on a 3-card hand, which if you know anything about Brood is like kind of sacrilege, because if you don't have a 1 cost or you don't hit the beast within that you're keeping, then your turn is basically just 2-card make a might token. But he happens to play the Tear Limb, draw, hit the beast within hits him a Savage Feast. And so he's like over the moon. He's like, okay, like it paid off. Like I could finally come back and win. He plays the Feast, and the Riptide's like Buzzsaw Trap. All this was for nothing. You lose anyway. That was just funny to watch. Yeah, there was a lot of just interesting stuff happening in the games. A lot of the, I think there was a lot of KO. I think it had like a 47% conversion or something like that to day 2. So I got to see a lot of the people, their different takes on the deck, and just like see what decisions they make and stuff. Was yeah, it was definitely a fun tournament. It's just sad that it felt like I kind of started X2 with those the 2 Ailio games that should be a good match, but I happen to get cooked with the draw sequence.
And Lucas, you also did stuff this weekend, I hope. How was your week in Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, man, I did all sorts of stuff.
Not winning a calling.
I played some Flesh and Blood. I watched Connor win a calling. Yep. That was very exciting. I was holed up in my room watching the stream basically all day. I was not feeling particularly well, so I was just cooped up in my room doing nothing. I was very emotive. If you were in my house that day, you definitely would have heard me getting excited at various moments. There were definitely some like when I'm refreshing constantly the standings page to wait to see if Naib makes top 8, like wait to see if Naib wins this last round, and then when I'm watching the stream, obviously, there were some moments like I couldn't tell on the last turn if the 0 to 60 in your hand was blue or red, and if it was red, like maybe your turn's a little more awkward, but then you play the yellow zipper hit, and I'm like, wait, no, it's got to be blue because he wouldn't play it this way if it was the other way, and so I was very excited throughout various points through the stream, but mostly I was just a cheerleader, and yeah, I mean I did a bunch of testing as well, but nobody really cares about that. So
fair. I did my last Riftbound event that I in Vegas, and it was fun. I was on stream, which is always fun. And I don't know.
You won on stream.
I won on stream as well. I finished the day 1 X1, and I was the number 1 victor in the field, and then day 2 I crashed and burned. So I was I started day 2 in the lead for $15,000, and then I went meow and did not collect $15,000. So, literally, one day I win the die roll. I win every game I win the die roll on. The next day I win 0 die rolls. I lose 3 of those games. That's Riftbound.
I'm familiar with that tournament experience.
Yeah. But now I'm back fully, just a Flesh and Blood player for the next month. I have 1 month to figure out what I'm playing for Worlds, which looks like it's probably Vincent. I was told that this is the best deck in the game. So I have to play whatever people think is the best deck in the game, and people seem to think it's Vincent. So I got to start practicing that right away. That's what I've been told. I see no objections. It was on the screen. I watched the stream and it said Vincent, best deck in format.
And then every round it said Vincent.
Best deck in format.
Let's talk about Vincent.
Yeah. I think people have talked about it. I mean, the deck exists. I did want to pull up some funny stats from the tournament that I think people might be amused by. Katsu was the real killer of the tournament, if you guys didn't realize that. Katsu was in there destroying Mario and Verdance, and it went 8-1 against the Cilios that weekend. And it was the #1 murderer of Vincent.
It might be time to have an uncomfortable conversation
about Katsu.
I don't know, man. If you're willing to title an episode of the podcast, "Is Valda the best deck?"
Yeah.
Surely we can have an honest man's conversation about Katsu the Wanderer.
I don't know. I'm impressed. Did anyone talk about Katsu? Did you guys see Katsu's at the top table? I wasn't there, so.
Yeah.
There was Katsu's around. I definitely saw a lot of Katsu's getting equity off of their opponents not realizing that Tigran Reflex was also a card, in addition to Ancestral Empowerment.
Okay.
And in general, it's just, I don't know, it's a bouncing links deck. It's like it works similar to how Dan's idea of the Bonds Turbo deck worked, where you just put 1 Bonds in the graveyard and then you have a turn where you attack with the other 2 in addition to a bunch of other attacks. But you also have like Retrace the Past to be able to have access to more interesting finishers. So I think it's pretty strong.
I do want to clarify, if we're going to talk about Katsu, I was making a joke about it beating Vincent. It beat it one time, it was 100%. But for the listeners at home that aren't going to double check, I want to make sure that is very obvious. However, it did win. It did go 8-1 against Ailio on the weekend, which is a relevant stat to have in the meta, right?
I wonder how many of the Katsus were playing Windcutter. This is the new Majestic arms that lets you pay 1 to search your deck for a Shuriken and put it into play if you've hit 2 or more times this combat chain. It's, I think, at first when reading it, comparing it to something like Breaking Scales or Okana Scar Wraps, it reads worse. But I think the fact that Katsu gets to play Kodachis and still potentially have access to an arms that gets him these attack reactions is actually pretty strong. I played against the deck online a few times, and the games where they can get multiple of the Shurikens out in the early game while they're doing their just like chip and setup sort of part of the game, it's actually incredibly annoying to block. Like every Whelming Gust wave can be for 6, right? You can't just overblock by 1 and get over all of them. So I don't know if the Katsus were actually playing that card, but that card has impressed me more than I thought it would. And I think that is kind of a potential angle that people haven't been looking at.
I think there's 2 strategies. So the first one is to have a switchboard where you run Kodachis with Breaking Scales for when the game is going to be short. And then you just sideboard in the Shurikens and Windcutter when the game is expected to be long, like you were saying, Lucas. Like you're able to use the early turns to do more setup compared to the other games where you're just trying to go as fast as possible. But then the other build I saw, there was kind of like 2 builds that I saw at the tournament, was using Edge of Autumn and basically just leveraging the ability to tutor for CNC using Katsu as a way of counteracting Ailio. I think that's kind of like one of the ways you can take it if you want to do the bonds combo into Ailio, and that's where you would be running the Kodachis, Breaking Scale, Windcutter sideboard, versus the build using Edge of Autumn to just try to keep CNCing them after they take a bunch of damage.
Makes sense. I mean, do you think was it a lot of Ailio hate at the tournament?
Oh yeah, the tournament. Yeah, everybody had weakest links. Everybody had CNCs. I mean, there was other. Usually, someone would play like 9 to 12. There was like RKOs at the tournament, just jamming all the 2-for-6s with pummels and stuff. There was a couple Valdas that were doing decently well, just being able to play the dominated crush effects or being able to pummel them, that kind of thing, and also being able to profitably not take chip damage because Ailio is drawing cards and you can discount your attack, so you can still, be playing Guardian style without losing out on the tempo aspect because your opponent is making your deck more consistent.
There was so much Ailio hate. All my friends playing Ailio after each round, it looked like they came back from like Vietnam, dude. They were all just like sad, like had a dead look in their eyes, like I got double amuleted. Like just everyone had so much hate. It was brutal.
Yeah, this is all in addition to the amulets that everybody had. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a triple amulet.
And Ailio still was like the best performing deck at the tournament in terms of just like numbers at the top tables.
Yeah, it was still 52% win rate on the weekend with, a lot of hate in the room. So maybe the deck's actually
definitely
pretty good.
Some of that is the Hamilton effect, though. Of when he sits down at the table, regardless of the hero he registers, the win rate gets inflated.
Is that how that works?
That's how it works, yeah. At least from what
Other
I've
than
seen.
The tournaments where he does poorly, yes.
Yeah. I would say on average, you can expect the win rate of the hero he registers to be a bit higher.
Definitely. If we're talking about 52%, I would expect it to basically always be above that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he doesn't show up with a Ailio, it's 50%.
Okay. I don't know. Everything else of the weekend, I think, made a lot of sense. It was cool to see Vincent pop off. I'm excited to see if that deck actually sticks around or not. Again, I'm just going to play whatever the best deck is. Now I don't know what it is. I was told it was Mario, but Mario kind of did poopy. What happened? Anyone got an explanation?
I think all the KOs in the tournament had a plan for Mario. What I saw, I mean, I had a different plan. I thought it was also as effective. But they were just playing like No Fear versus Mario. And they were playing like the Crown of Providence, Sash, the normal gloves, and then Beaten Trackers. And it just seemed like everybody was loaded in with a better game plan of how to defeat Mario than necessarily the Marios were. And also that Mario was only 11% of the room. It's not like it was a super dominant deck. So I think maybe it's a case of just not a lot of them converted, given that not a lot of people even showed up with the deck.
Yeah, I also think it was just kind of it was a very wide meta, but I think it's a relatively hostile meta. Like especially the day 2 meta. I know Mario converted quite well to day 2, but I think KO and Vincent are some of his harder matchups. And I would expect that the Ailios, even if it's still a favored matchup for Mario, I'd expect that the Ailios have all played that matchup quite a bit, and at the very least have some game plan for it. And I think it's probably easier to improve the matchup with play and teching from the Ailio side than it is from the Mario side.
So what is Dio's bad matchup, Connor?
Is there any bad matchups right now?
Nah, come on.
Okay. There's a class that starts with a G.
Guardian.
Yeah. There's a class that starts with a G.
Yeah, you'll lose to Victor and Valda and stuff like that.
Pleiades.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No one plays that anymore, man.
I keep hearing this Valda character winning games. What's going on here?
Valdo is strong. There was a couple Valdas floating around the top tables for a while.
Valda's sick when she has 2 hero abilities.
Yeah, Ailio is
sometimes you only have
really hurts. Sometimes you have 0 hero abilities, unfortunately.
That's true. Sometimes you have to.
But no, Valda's really powerful. I think that's a tough matchup. But no, I think Dio's really good. I mean, she preys on Ailio. What was the Ailio versus Dio or like win rate for Dio?
Versus Dio, it was like 50-50 basically.
Oh, everyone's terrible. What happened? What happened, boys? It's all right. They'll see I'm playing 3 and they'll put 3 in their deck and they'll go, "Oh, this is much nicer."
Yeah, they don't have your guide yet, so that's the
I guess so.
that's the issue.
2 though.
You're not
2
signing
is
up the max
still
speeds,
enough.
man.
I think I don't know if I was doing that before actually. I'm not sure. I'll have to look back. I mean, what's crazy about this deck that like Dio is like since August, since like calling Kansas City, my deck's like 75 of the same cards, and 3 of them came out in the new set. Like 75 of the 80 is the same or whatever, and 3 of them are trebuchets. That's pretty much it. Like,
Has that been a big difference? The trebuchets? Have they
yeah,
made
that
a
card's
big-
really good.
Okay.
Yeah, that card's really good.
I'm glad I
Your deck just
invested
is-
in a huge giant stack of them behind me.
No, trebuchet's great. It's the one like you feel so smart when you get to like threaten the breakpoint with the 1, and if it ever reads a card. I was so excited against my game against Tao Tao because I was like, all right, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna send this trebuchet. He's trying to give us a card for it, and then he was like, discard shelter, and I was like, oh no, my breakpoint.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
bit
not
of
a
game.
decent amount of people using like all the Guardians basically were using what's the card that blocks 1? Fiddler's Green.
Fiddler's Green.
Yeah,
I was about to
Fiddler's
mention.
Green's also a decent answer to it, yeah.
Yeah,
Fiddler's Green's actually just kind of broken this format. I think.
card's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. We were talking about that on the ride home, just like being able to Fiddler's Green against Hunter's Clave, against the Trebuchet, using it to
I think it's
block with a
I
3
think-
block.
for decks that are trying to block out against Cecilio. I also think it's like secretly one of the best cards because you get to block 2 cards on their first physical attack, and so you get to hedge against them like throwing Arcane or throwing physical on the second attack, but you still get to like guarantee that you can block with more cards no matter what it is. I found this to be quite relevant in the few games that I've played with blocking decks against Cecilio.
Yeah. It also, it just lets you like convert more of your hand on defense too. Like you said, just blocking with a 3 block plus that on their first 0 for 4.
Nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about Silver Age before we move on to what I'm actually excited to talk about for the weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna
besides
say 42
Connor.
minutes in and we haven't said the word Ziggy one time.
Yeah. We got a Zig-a-zig-ah later, so relax. But Silver Age, we had the last week of it. We got some bands that we can talk a little bit about as well. But Briar popped off again with 53 wins, and then KO with 26, and Dorinthia with 14, and Phi with 9, and KO with 9, and then everything else was basically the same, except there's no Dromai this time.
Pie chart.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
the same damn pie chart. Phi won like 2 more events, and Briar ate KO's finger, and that's the only thing that happened.
Super consistent format. But no Dromai showed up. I heard the Dromai matches are not that bad. Like against Briar. I think it's probably better now after the ban list, but
Yeah, it seems like
speaking of ban list, we did get our ban list, and they banned a lot of stuff. So Bracers of
tried.
Belief are gone. Lightning Press gone. So if you never read the interaction between the pump and the Lightning Press, you never have to, because Lightning Press is gone. Aether Spindle is gone. Steelblade Shunt is gone. Sirens of Safe Harbor and Burn Up and a Shock, all out of here. None of these cards anymore. However, we got an unban. We don't always get an unbanning, but this time Amulet of Ice is back. I haven't touched that card in, it's been a while since I played some Amulet of Ice. We got Rake the Embers, Pheno's favorite card. He's reactivated. He's talking to the Discord out of nowhere. He's been on vacation, and the day Rake the Embers comes back, I just see endless posts from him. And then Rootbound Carapace. That's like the only red D-React, I think, in the format? Like the only real red D-React for 4?
other than like reduced to rune chant, sigil, the other rune chant or the other rune blade one, all of the Icelander ones, the Guardian ones.
They're not D-Reacts in
No,
Guardian.
those all cost 1.
Oh, sure, you're saying just 0 for
The only true
Yeah.
like
The
0
rune
for
blades
4.
have them. There's another class that has some. Ranger has some. You have take cover.
Oh, they have take cover.
Take cover.
Take
cover's
there's
broken.
more.
Yeah,
There's like a
Black Dawn
bunch.
is like
Yeah,
kind of the-
Ninja has them because a bunch of classes have 0 for 5 D reacts that are like conditional to resolve.
Okay. Well, I know people are excited about that. What do we think, Lucas? What do you think about this ban list? You've played more Silver Age than me. Tell me why we had to get rid of Aether Spindle.
I think it's. I'm not even going to talk about that first. Okay, like I think it's crazy that they looked at the meta and they were like, okay, we're gonna hit all of the heroes that are the easiest to interact with and counterplay, and then the one hero who has literally zero interaction, zero counterplay, and is only strong because he just does the thing every game and your opponent can't do anything about it. That's the one hero that we don't touch. Of course, I'm talking about KO. Where the hell are the KO bans? Like I don't know. I thought Briar was fine.
They got rid of Sirens.
You can block out burn up shot. You can play defense reaction cards to deal with lightning press. You can put 4s on the side of no, you can't. You can't. There are block swap decks that are good into Briar because you played 2 brush offs in your deck and 2 Laylos.
Okay, let's not act like Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press are not good bans. Let's not
No,
let's not pretend.
They were good bans. They were good bans.
Okay.
My point is the Briar deck and the Great Axe Dorinthia deck are decks that you can interact with.
But again, let's not pretend that Shunt was not a good ban. Shunt is a great ban because it invalidates the format.
Yeah, I think
okay.
I think all of the bans were for the most part good.
I don't understand bracers, but
I think bracers is
is it
they banned Goliath Gauntlet, so they just like want to put a stand on. They ban bracers too.
Yeah, they just didn't. Yeah, they just don't want that kind of thing to be legal. They don't want generic 2 power.
What about Aether Spindle?
Yeah, we got to resolve Aether Spindle first. I think that's a complete meme.
So I think the reason that they banned Aether Spindle is because I think it's half a ban for right now. It's first of all because LSS is out of touch on what actually matters in the Kano deck. That's the actual reason. I think actually, like that's the concise way to put it. But also I do think there is an argument that with Blaze coming out, it does make sense that this kind of card doesn't exist when Blaze come out. So I think that makes sense. I will say Kano should have gotten more hits. This is not one of the more important cards in the Kano deck. The Kano deck just operates on a density of red spells, and this is like one of the medium ones. Like if it's like if they went to the
if it didn't actually connect for all 5 of the damage, it's just like the worst spell.
Yeah, literally.
I would rather just do 1 more damage or 2 more damage.
I think Rousing Aether is better in this format, like most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the theme I've noticed with Sage is that between KO doing damage that, like you said, Lucas, you can't interact with, it's just a number. There's no on hit that makes it do bonus damage, and then Kano being able to hit stuff like Emeritus Scolding or other spells like Snapbacks and stuff like that let you just extend your hand. I think those kind of things are much more difficult for you to game plan for as an opponent compared to game planning for a Fatigue Great Axe deck or game planning for Briar, where the cards the strategy you choose to employ counters their strategy, whereas even the counters to Kano are just whether you draw prevention and life gain effects on correct turns. It's not about like the overall strategy of your deck. I think it's kind of just like tech cards.
I think this ban list is like basically they hit all of the stuff that was like strong, but they hit like almost none of the stuff that I think was actually a problem for the format. Like I think like Lightning Press and Burn Up Shock and Bracers of Belief were all strong. I think the Decimator Great Axe deck was strong. I don't think the Decimator Great Axe deck was a problem. I don't think Aether Spindle was the problem. I think the problems with the format are KO and Kano. And that's it. I don't even think Briar was a problem before. I think she was maybe a bit too strong. She's maybe a bit too explosive. I'm glad that she got toned down. But I think like fundamentally KO and Kano are heroes that should not exist in the ways that they exist in the format. And they do. And we have to play them at Worlds. Or at Yokohama. So I don't know. The unbannings are all sick though.
I mean, I looked at this bannings and I just said, I guess I'm playing KO. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I have a choice. But then I saw Amulet of Ice. And does this do anything in the format?
No.
Okay, it does. It does.
Oh,
It does. But the
Here-
problem
here
is
we
it's not enough. It's not enough
me.
to make Icelander good. It's not enough to make Icelander good in the KO. I think, or into KO rather. Sorry. I think Amulet of Ice is a big deal. I think blue ice cards that are good at disrupting your opponent is something that the deck was lacking. Just good blue ice cards at all. And also, I think a way to beat fatigue decks that isn't a huge strain on either like setup, right? Like it doesn't take a bunch of stuff to set up and it doesn't take a bunch of sideboard space. Having just extra free damage that you can put into play at almost no cost into fatigue is good for Icelander. But KO is going to kill you in 2 turns.
well, this means it beats fatigue now, right? The Amulet of Ices do.
I
think
don't.
it means you can more reasonably build your deck to beat fatigue, but you don't have sideboard space in Sage. Like I don't think you can really make an Icelander deck that's good into something like KO and also can beat fatigue.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with Icelander in Sage is kind of what Noah's saying, where like, but I think it's kind of funny. It's like almost the opposite as well. I think the biggest problem is that the way you build your deck basically means that how you beat fatigue has to be a proactive mid-rangey strategy. Like you can't do a combo. Like you don't have enough defensive cards to do a combo. So if you want to be playing the Scar for Scar, Wounded Bull, Winter's Bite version of Icelander, which is what I think is best into the aggro decks, you have to beat fatigue by playing sort of this proactive, like, take cards from you and set a blue spell thing, which I think has some merit. And also, honestly, I think outside of like AB5, fatigue as in like blocking you out is not really something that Icelander struggles with. But I think the biggest problem that she had before was decks that do a bunch of blocking, and then as soon as you take any time to do any sort of setup, they just kill you. Like the Decimator Great Axe deck and like Bravo Flattering Showman, where like you have to do a lot of work to get damage on them. And then once you hit a turn where you don't have a good blue to arsenal, which you don't have very many good blues to arsenal, then you just get hit in the mouth, then you have to block, and once you have to block, it becomes impossible to deal any damage to the opponent.
Okay.
Although Amulet of Ice helps with that, so
Fair.
who knows?
Before I get into the other two, Connor, what are you playing in Silver Age?
I've been playing Lexi.
Does
I
any of
know.
this excite you for Lexi?
Amulet of Ice is kind of probably a bad version of Lexi I can build and waste an hour on. But no, I don't think anything too much changes for her. I do think that she's still really powerful. I mean, she's just as good as, like, she's pretty close to Briar, like, on efficiency, and she didn't lose anything here.
You weren't
And her
playing
KO
Press?
is
What about
decent.
Lightning Press?
I think Decimator was a bad
Oh,
matchup.
Press. That's why I'm Press, yeah. But Decimator was actually a good matchup because they couldn't, like, interact with you at all.
I guess you just set up energy potions.
Yeah, Energy Potion's so good in the deck. That helps in, like, your fatigue matchups so much.
I think Energy Potion is like the most underrated card in Silver Age. That card's broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Can I make it? Sorry, you triggered something. There was a bunch of people playing Fi at the tournament, playing triple energy potion. One of my opponents was actually even playing 4. He was playing Ruby Amulet as well. So people
Wow.
are
Oh,
hype
and
on the
CC.
energy potion.
That's research.
Energy
yeah.
Potion's lit.
Yeah.
Rake the Embers is back. We haven't seen this card in forever. This is a good card. That's a very strong card to be in Silver Age. Does this move the needle?
It's weird because like it's very powerful, but it's also much less powerful than it is in CC. Right? Like it's a much higher cost to go negative on Ash in Silver Age, just because you don't have as much time to set up, so the Ash that you get in the game is limited. Like if you go second, like you're probably, if you don't have a hat that just gives you 3 Ash for free on turn 0, like you're probably losing value almost every time you make an Ash. So outside of just like playing one of the 1-cost dragons. So I feel like any effect that goes negative on Ash gets weaker. And then also in a 20 health format, playing a card that's like, I'm using 2 cards over the course of the next 2 turns, if you don't interact with this, it's going to be a 2-card 6, and then every turn after that it scales like positively, it's going to be very powerful. So I don't know. I think the fact that the format is so fast makes this card much weaker, but this card's still very broken, and this card wins games by itself.
I think if you can solve, like you said, if you can solve Ash problems, I know there's been talk of playing like Deep Blue to summon Necria, stuff like this to basically just spam a bunch of Ash. I think with the toning down of Briar, KO is still going to be a complete nightmare, but there's definitely an angle of Dromai where you just are able to farm, half the people in the room because you resolved one rake, and then you can put 4 blocks, like you can still play sand cover, stuff like this. So if you have access to Ash and you can just defend your board, play 1 card, swing your board every turn, I think it seems
Yeah, I was going to say there was an old style where Dromai in certain matchups would literally just like play a rake, and then I'm just going to attack with these every turn until you give me a window not to, and I will block with the rest of my hand because my dragons block for 3. So like, and then they would be like, okay, I can't deal with these rakes coming in all the time. I'm going to take a turn off. I'm going to hit the rake. And then you'd be like, okay, now I'll play some other dragons, and I have 1 big board, and I'm back to playing the game. I don't know if that could still happen in Silver Age, but to have access back to rake seems awesome.
And I think Dromai has access to defensive cards like on the horizon, and maybe what's this card? Drop down? Is that the name? No, drag down. Drag down. Like these red defensive cards are typically pretty awkward for other decks, but because they're her resource cards, I think she kind of has no problem just like fitting these in.
Yeah, they also, I would imagine in. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say a lie.
Okay, well, don't lie.
Can't activate Flame Scale Furnace in Silver.
You cannot. Rootbound Carapace. What does this change? You're excited, Connor. What's going on?
Florian just is really good now. He's so strong. He's got all these D-reacts, and now he's gonna be able to be active so quick. And that new Decomposed card's really good too. He's living good.
Are we stacking rune chants? Is that what we're doing?
If KO is the best, we can do whatever. If KO is the best deck, Florian feels like the most natural predator to that.
Not really.
Why?
Not if you're playing like the stacked Florian style. You can play like Tempo Florian is pretty good into KO, but I think stack is like unplayable.
Oh, really? You don't always need to stack. We can stack sometimes. We don't always.
It's just different than
CC. I don't really think you can build your deck to stack sometimes in Silver Age.
That's fair.
Just because like the other, like there's just not that many like value cards, and other than exactly Malefic Incantation, basically all of them are just stat cards. Like I feel like if you're not casting Reduce to Runechant, like you probably shouldn't be playing Florian.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's hard to play Reduce in a Tempo Florian deck or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you're like big on like Hocus Pocus or something like that.
I don't think anybody is big on Hocus Pocus.
That's one of those cards
in the chat if you like Hocus Pocus.
It lives in my maybe board for eternity in both Visterai and Florian.
Yeah.
It looks so reasonable.
Yeah.
I've had people play it against me in calling level tournaments before.
It looks perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. I think I was playing Zen at the time though, so it was far less reasonable for them playing Hocus Pocus. Oh, good times. Cool. Is this an improvement to Silver Age? Tell me, is it better now?
I think so.
It's definitely an improvement. You'll get cheesed by Briar less, and you'll get cheesed by Kano very slightly less, and I don't think it changes the Dory matchups that much. Like, I don't know. What matchup do you think this is like a gigantic shift for?
I think I actually think Dory losing Sirens is like a huge deal. I think actually Sirens is one of the like biggest hits that nobody's talking about. I think Sirens leaving is a huge buff to a lot of decks. Like every wizard in particular gets like a huge buff from this. Like Icesigner and Kano, like playing into basically any deck, but like KO in particular, like the games where they just like discard 2 Sirens, like it's really hard to win.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also Sirens being one of the best ways to block with the Unity equipment
Yep.
of Warrior makes
Yeah,
sense
it
why that would
also
get
yeah,
hit.
it's just like fewer, like they don't get as many poppers. Like any deck
Mhm.
that's just any deck that's enacting a game plan where the way you win is getting over by a life or two. Like you just get like two or three more points than your opponent can block. Like this is a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I like honestly, I think if anything, the format's almost worse, just because like actually the most miserable deck in the format is KO, and he's just like clearly the best deck now.
Okay. Well, I guess my deck is locked for Pro Tour. I will be playing KO.
Yeah.
You've made it very easy. I can't wait to play all my KO mirrors.
Oh, I can. Maybe you play like Oldham or something. You ice react them.
Oh,
Yeah. That was what I thought was like the natural enemy to KO. Like when I was testing Silver Age like back in the day, why I thought Oldham was actually good is because like him having ice react, the ice react is typically worth a full like 2 for 6 swing out of KO. So I think it seems like that's one way to beat it, but I don't really know what else there is, man.
It could be Valda time. I think the Valda deck is
Or
reasonable.
Valda, yeah.
no.
I think I think the problem probably that we're gonna see is that Kano also exists, and I think the amount of decks that can beat both of those strategies is very narrow. I think it's like you're getting to like Vincent, sort of.
What if you just play AB5 Oldham with 6 fruits? I don't know, steadfast, something. Pray. Lots of prayers.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a key ingredient. Lots
That's
of
the
prayers.
crucial information. Yeah, that's the key piece of the
Where
puzzle.
do I write on my deck list? I'm praying. Please,
Yeah.
please not.
May Allah help me against all of the Kanos,
No.
please. For this is my only hope.
It's like
How do I?
the end of Earthbound or Mother 2, where everyone just
Mhm.
the hero just asks for everyone's prayers in order to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, we've talked about everything else. The only exciting thing I think we talked about was Connor winning. But we have things I'm actually excited about. We got literally today, we got spoilers of the new set. They didn't string us along. They didn't do the thing where they half cover a text box and let us wonder about some art or something. They just flapped it all out on the table and said, here you go. Here's all the hero. Well, maybe not all the heroes. Here's 3 heroes, and here is their effects, and here is some cards. So I would like to engage our professional card reader for this one.
It's my time to shine. Let's go.
If we could bring in Noah, aka New Connor, if we could bring him in to read these new heroes,
Sure.
that would be great.
I'm going to read them from what I think will be worst to best, okay?
Start with Aurora.
So let's start with Aurora. So we have Aurora, Legacy of Tempest. She's a lightning runeblade hero.
Strict downgrade on the name, by the way.
Yeah, but kind of upgraded the art, though.
Legacy of Tempest is a terrible name. But continue.
Yeah, but that art, though.
So, yeah, the art is cool. First thing to note, she's a lightning runeblade hero, which means she's not an elemental runeblade hero with the Essence of Lightning tag. So therefore, she cannot play elemental cards. Her ability is an instant, pay 2 resources and tap. Also destroy a lightning flow you control. So that's all the cost. The effect is simple, create an embodiment of lightning token. So similar logic to Aurora of old, where you're spending 2 resources and you have to do something relating to lightning to make an embodiment of lightning. But this one doesn't require you to play cards on the turn, just requires you to destroy the token. And from what we've seen, these flow tokens are stackable. So there could be a world where you have a bunch and it's not like it's you either have it or don't, not like a mark kind of gimmick. She has 40 HP and 4 intellect, by the way.
Cool. This is
Are we going to talk about her? Or
I want to talk about her. I want someone to explain how big of a downgrade not having elemental is.
I can do that.
Yeah.
It's big. So first of all, your boy, Lucas Oswald, your resident elemental hero main trademark, is not able to play this hero to his highest potential because it is not elemental. I'm quite pressed about this issue. But in a real sense, you don't get to play Flicker Wisp. So people who are potentially concerned about Arc Lightning Flicker Wisp combo being a thing, you cannot do that. You also can't play Entwine Lightning, Static Shock, or Arcanic Shockwave. In addition to some other more niche elemental cards. But those are going to be the big ones that likely would have been staples in this hero, and you're not going to be able to play. So she does have a significant card pool downgrade from the previous Aurora. And also, obviously, a hero ability downgrade. Having to make a token and then destroy it is significantly weaker than just having played a lightning card. So I'm going to be interested to see how this Aurora actually does moving forward, because she does seem like she is, at least with, no new cards and no new support or anything, quite a bit weaker than the previous one.
We do have some buff though, in that there's been new cards that have come out since Aurora LL'd. Like
Indeed.
Astrovault Elemental is a card now. There's like that new Lightning Bond card. I don't know if you end up playing that. I guess you can't play that one. I'm trolling. Hey, there's the other one that you said that you can't play. You definitely don't play Elemental Strike because you can't play that either. It's Elemental.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of new cards that are like, seem like it's a breadcrumb thing, but also it's just not playable.
Yeah, I mean, I expect most of her justification is going to be in this set. It'll be stuff that interacts with lightning flows. We already see the powerful new Astral Strike, if you want to read that one off, Noah.
Oh, sure. I can do that. Astral Strike. Where do I find this card?
It's here. I'll send you a link.
I'm good at the reading task. You didn't tell me I had to be a finder too.
I expect you to be ready. You should know your task, your job is to read.
Astral Strike.
Noah, as the resident Yu-Gi-Oh player, has so much experience reading cards.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the...
Every Yu-Gi-Oh card's a novella. I mean, he's very well read.
The Yu-Gi-Oh players don't actually read their cards.
Yes,
so
yes. We have more cards of Zeus holding up lightning. Okay. Astral Strike, 1 cost, red, lightning action, attack. Attacks for 5, defends for 3, because it's a majestic, so it has to defend for 3, of course. When this attacks, if you've destroyed a lightning flow this turn, choose 1. Draw a card, this gets +2, or this gets go again. So notably, this is, the modes of Enlightened Strike. Also the modes of levels of enlightenment. However, this card is a red, and you only get to choose 1. It doesn't matter if you've destroyed multiple lightning flows, just if you've checked the box, you choose 1. I would presume this card is going to be okay.
Wait,
probably
what?
pretty strong. I don't think it's going to be that crazy. It's a 1 for 7 that's basically only functional when you've done the thing and actually destroyed the lightning flow. If you look at a card like Eclectic Magnetism, it's kind of like this, where it's like a 1 for 5 with go again, and that card sees fringe play in Ailio. So I think this card will definitely be good, but it's not going to be something like levels of enlightenment.
I think that's a little disingenuous to say, because the reason it doesn't see a lot of play in Ailio is Ailio doesn't want to pitch. So but if these decks want to pitch, then a 1 for 5 or a 1 for 7 or a 1 for draw card is probably has more reasonable play patterns.
Yeah, this card is good. It's just that it depends on if the lightning heroes want to play Critical Strike. So yeah, I think what you're both saying is right. This is very clearly a good card that you will play in your deck if it fits your cost curve in a way where you can maximize its effect. But yeah, if you're not able to consistently get its effect off, or if you're not trying to play 1 cost attacks, then I'd be
pretty surprised if this card doesn't see play, at least in some of these decks, simply because
I will definitely see play.
I'm just simply for the fact that being able to pull a powerful card into another turn, because you have done the setup some other time, seems very powerful, and always it has been typically pretty powerful, especially right now when we're a little in a power slump. To be able to just play a 1 for 7 at the end of your turn, boop boop. Oh, I set up a big turn. I went boop boop boop. 1 for 7 is kind of crazy.
I agree. Yeah, I think the strength in this card is that it's um, also in a deck that can run Lightning Greaves. So when you can play like 1 for 5 draw card relatively unconditionally, like your opponent can't stop it.
Yeah.
In a deck that has Lightning Greaves to regain action points, I think that also seems like really strong.
Agreed. It might not be
This
like
thing's sick with somersault.
true.
Yeah. With Somersault, you just like actually okay. Wait, Connor, you've opened my eyes. See, this is why you're the smart one who wins tournaments. Yeah, the fact that you can now play Yellow Somersault like this in tandem with Yellow Somersault on a Greaves turn, that's got to go insane.
I am actually pretty sure Somersault's getting banned.
It has to.
There's like no way you're going to be able to go Phantasmaclasm in resolution. Electromagnetic somersault. Target Phantasmaclasm. It returns to my hand. I just don't see it happening. I don't believe it.
Nuts.
But who knows? We do have another Ailio that this card might be playable in. He wants to pitch. Will you enlighten us now as to what this Ailio does?
You play like one second. Imagine I gotta resolve this Phantasmaclasm example of like imagine you have like some crazy setup of like a CLVs on the board popping, and you just like keep Phantasmaclasming them, and you just keep somersaulting them back because you have Greaves active, and you just like clasm them like 5 times.
Yeah, of course.
That would be too lit. Actually, at some point the Clasms become trash, right? Because then they just start drawing cards.
Yes,
because they have no more cards in hand.
Yes, the second Phantasmaclasm is not as good as the first one.
Yeah,
the third Phantasmaclasm.
Yeah, the third one. Just actively trash at that point. Okay. Next, I'll read Ailio.
Yo, why is he so jacked?
No, we actually know. We know it's because he died in Aurora, like regained his spark. Like Starfall jacked him up. That's what it was. Here, I can read it off. I have it.
Starfall was the weight coach that gave him like the broadest shoulders of all time.
After being shattered in battle, Ailio is reformed by the sacrifice of Aurora's blade Starfall, ready to deliver lightning speed arcane damage combos that all Wizard fans will enjoy. So yeah, he got got and like Starfall died for Ailio's sins, and now we have buff Ailio.
I like how they're prepping the other Ailio getting LL'd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. Since Dash.io came out, we haven't seen a situation where you have like potentially 2 like different adjacent heroes that are basically the same but are actually different. I'm hoping that they'll both be playable, at least for like a format.
Okay, I'm gonna read his ability, and then you guys have to explain something to me because I'm still a noob when it comes to understanding some stuff. So Ailio Forked Continuum, 4 intellect, 38 HP, notably. Instant, pay 1 and tap, and destroy a lightning flow you control. That's all the cost. At resolution, you discard a card and create a ponder token. If an instant is discarded this way, you may play it this turn. So my question about that is, if you have no cards in hand, do you just pay 1 and make a ponder?
Yeah. So how rules currently work, yes.
Yeah.
So, it's because you don't have to. It doesn't say like discard a card then make a ponder.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a cost. It's just part of the resolution. You just do the thing. So if you just read it as that, like basically Chain Ender, you have a 1 cost make a ponder token.
That's very powerful.
So that's already insane.
So this hero draws several cards over the course of a game, essentially.
Yeah, his hero ability is basically one resource for draw a random card. So if you are assuming that the average card is like 3 to 4 value, especially in a
arsenal,
deck
a random card, basically.
Well, that's what the other thing is also. Presumably, you're playing a deck where essentially every card in your deck can be arsenal because your hero makes a ponder. So it'll be really interesting to see like how this hero interacts with the meta, I think, just because having a hero that gets basically all of his value from activating his hero ability every turn and getting a free ponder is going to deal, because like Arsenal Disruption is obviously incredibly strong against a hero like this. But also
your own next instance, we're like,
exactly.
Just flash it out.
That's potentially true. Well, but the thing is, you can't play as many instances as you could in the other Ailio. And also, crucially, unlike the other Ailio, you want most of your instants to be playable on your turn, because you want to be able to discard them to your ability and then play them. I think for the most part, all the instants that we have right now fit this bill. But there are quite a few that aren't able to just be played on your opponent's turn.
What did
And
you
there's
mean by you can't play as many instants in this one as the other one?
just because you can't cycle them for free, right? Like
Oh,
if
you
I'm
can
playing
afford to play
other
like
Ailio,
situational cards.
yeah, like temporal wobble like does not go in this deck neatly. Like you can maybe play it,
Mhm.
but like you can't just play it for free, right?
Yeah,
Like you're
makes
not
sense.
going to see this deck playing like Cloud Cover because it's
Maybe you
good
do
sometimes.
if this deck ends up being defensive. Maybe you end up like playing Cloud Cover as a.
Well, but I'm saying you won't though, because that's like you would never play that card in this deck. It makes no sense because it has no synergy with hero ability.
No, you
'Cause
you can do the hero ability as an instant. So then
Sure,
you can
but then you're
discard a
picking
cloud
on your
cover.
opponent's turn. I guess you
Tunic.
can like Tunic. Sure.
I was trying to think.
I guess
Well,
that's
no,
true.
but
That's true. There are some.
if we look at some of the other cards in the set, they all have instant abilities that cost money. So like I can see you
Hmm.
using this on the opponent's turn a decent amount.
That's fair. Yeah,
And
the only ways that we've seen so far to make lightning flows do involve pitching on your opponent's turn. So
yeah, and also I can see this being a decent way to dodge some types of mechanics. We haven't really seen this of like a deck that would pummel you and keep going, but I could see against like Marionette if they're trying to hit cards from your hand with Kiss of Death, Black Widow combo, you can just store them in the graveyard and play them in the end of the turn.
Yeah. Swolio seems pretty good. At least his effect is good.
Swolio, you've been cooking on that one?
Yeah. I was waiting. I was
it's
waiting for the silence.
It's got to be like Oslimio and Oswolio.
Yeah.
Slimio, dude.
Slimio.
Nice.
Good one.
Chunky, yeah.
I don't know. The effect is cool. It's very strong in a typical Flesh of Blood game. We will see if he is able to function in a typical Flesh of Blood game capacity, I think.
Yeah.
Now, can you read the good one?
Yeah, now the one that
the good hero, the one that's actually super lit. Okay, I want to preface this also. When I saw the initial image, I told Pierre at the tournament, I was like, this is going to be something having to do with omens. Like you're going to have to banish cards, and they're going to come back onto the board. We have some weird illusionist cards that already do that, and boom, they really delivered.
I actually before the game, I knew Kobe was going to drop 80.
Whatever, man. Let me get a small win. It's my only win of the whole weekend. He's a 4 intellect, 40 HP lightning illusionist hero. Instant, 2 resources. This guy has 1 million things of cost. Instant, 2 resources, tap, destroy a lightning flow you control, and banish another lightning or a permanent you control with no hollow counters. So like 5 things going on for cost there. And what's the payoff? You return the banished aura to the arena with a hollow counter. So first thing you want to notice is that it only banishes lightning aura permanents. So despite him being illusionist, he doesn't interact with all of those illusionist auras that are like, if it leaves the field, you get some effect. Imagine you could do this with Red Body, your favorite card, Cody. You could just like blink it out, get to prevent everything, and then it comes back. But yeah, first things first is we also want to look at his weapon to kind of understand the whole picture. So because his main ability costs 2, his weapon, which costs 1, fits nicely with the blue curve.
And
it's Aphrodisias. Instant, 1 resource, tap. Deal 2 arcane damage to target hero. Activate this only if an aura with a hollow counter has entered the arena under your control this turn. So basically your hero ability is a way at instant speed, paying 3 resources, as long as you have one of these aura permanents you control and a lightning flow. So lots of hoops, but it's a way of dealing 2 arcane. So I think my first impression is that given that there's also cards that deal amp, this will be the first illusionist where it'll kind of be mandatory to run Arcane Barrier into. In the past, there's been illusionists that have dealt pings of Arcane, like Merciful Retribution, where you could justify, or what's the stupid Dromai one? Burn Them All, or in the Dragons, right? There's been a bunch of sources of 1 Arcane, but this is the first bucket of multiple Arcane that seems like an actual playable card. And yeah, I think this is going to put players in a bit of a bind, given that you're now going to have to run Arcane Barrier, and you may have to run Poppers. And if it's a deck of Ward, you may have to run Go again to be able to clear the board. It seems like quite the nightmare to play against.
Arcane damage illusionist with Ward? Oh, I'm so excited. Those are all the
On
things
your
I like.
opponent's turn as well.
On
Don't
your
forget that.
opponent's turn as well.
It's ampable Waning Moon.
Man, they hit all the right spots with this one.
Yeah, they really want me to play this hero.
Yes. They want everyone to. This is like, it's really hard to see this hero and not be like, well, I know what I'm playing in Vegas. Like,
Yep.
When you see 40 HP though, does that make you think the hero is going to suck? Like the card pool is going to be bad? Or does that make you think he's going to be crazy broken?
Enigma
'Cause he's
has
also
That just,
gonna be
makes
40
me think he should, that just makes me think he has too much HP. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. You know who else has less HP? You know who has less HP? Riptide.
Yeah,
I
true.
I wasn't licking at my chops when I read Riptide.
man,
This hero's sick though.
and can you read Stardust Spike, because I think it gives a good idea of some of the things that they might print for this
That's important.
this guy.
Yes, I will read Stardust Spike. So this is a Majestic, 0 cost red. It's an instant aura, lightning illusionist, so it doesn't have a block value. Has all the tags. It says
So happy.
Ward 2. When this leaves the arena, gain a resource and amp 1. So this triggering when it leaves the arena means when you use your hero ability, you banish it. It triggers the ability, then it comes back, which means it'll presumably leave the arena again, and you'll be able to trigger the ability again on either that turn or a subsequent turn, as well as when you actually do the warding, you get the ability.
Yeah, so if you look at the value proposition on this card, if you're able to maximize its value, it's basically a 0 for 3 that gains you a resource and doesn't cost your action point, and also makes your hero ability, if you want, be able to cash in a blue card for 3 arcane and another resource on your opponent's turn. So if you can use the resources in basically any way from this card, it's a very powerful effect, because you're basically playing like head jab value cards, but it's all arcane damage and ward. So it's all like weird nickel and dimey sort of value. And also you just get 1 free resource every time you play the thing. So if you can play cards like Miraging Metamorph or Oasis Respite that are overrate and cost resources and are ways to use those resources efficiently, this seems like pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine, like, on your turn, you just pitch a blue, you activate your hero ability, you blink this, you gain a resource, you amp 1, you shoot your weapon for 3 arcane, and then you come in with Miraging Metamorph. You've used 3 cards, you end the turn with 2 ward, and you deal 10 damage to your opponent.
Yeah, seems strong. Just want to point out some more like things that exist in the current card pool that interact well with Ziggy. You could see Sigil of Conductivity into a matchup where they don't play any arcane. It could be something that you just like blink away. You get the embodiment of lightning, and it's always on the board, kind of like whenever I need to, I can always just make an embodiment of lightning.
Yeah, this deck's also going to keep Channel Lightning Valley around for like forever. Not only because you can blink it with your hero ability, but also because it seems like a hero that's going to be wanting to pitch multiple cards a turn.
Yeah,
and also going to be built around blues, so you'll be happy pitching multiple cards a turn.
One thing to note is that there's no way to remove hollow counters from what I've seen, and your hero ability can only banish the permanent if it has no hollow counters, so it's not like you can just infinitely banish one thing.
We don't know though.
Yeah.
It could just be a straight negative to not allow you to continually pump one thing over and over again.
It does feel like that, but there could be some things that let you get rid of.
There could be something that cares about hollow counters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I would expect that there's probably some other way to at least put hollow counters on things, just for like I would guess you can turn on the weapon with something other than just the hero ability, but maybe not. But this is just like the third lightning rune blade though, right? Like every lightning hero I feel like in the last like year has just been like a lightning rune blade, and I don't know, this one kind of reads like another one. Like you get to play wards still, but
you get wards,
kinda
you get arcane damage, you're flashing things around. You could draw extra cards, and then you got cosmic. Can you read it? Can you read the other card? It's very good. They fixed Phantasmaclasm, or not Phantasma, but Phantasmal.
Phantasm.
Yeah,
Phantasm.
They fixed Phantasm.
Well, the concept of these cards. Okay, Cosmic Duality. You're saying, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so Cosmic Duality, it comes in a cycle: red, yellow, blue. It's 2 cost. The red attacks for 7, yellow 6, and blue for 5. It has a new keyword called Fragment, which says whenever a card with 2 or more defense defends this gets -2 power. This specifies just any card, so it can be equipment as well as main deck cards. And it has an activated ability that you can use, which says pay 1 resource and discard this. So discard from your hand. Deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Create a lightning flow token. So some things that I see immediately are the fact that if your opponent doesn't have, a temper 2 equipment that they want to throw in front of this, or they just don't want to block, you're getting 1 point above rate for an illusionist attack that's also a 3 block. And the second thing is that the activated ability being an instant and having the arcane damage not be tied to creating the lightning flow token seems pretty powerful, and that if you just need the token, this is like a 1 card and 1 resource way to make it. Seems incredibly inefficient, but we'll have to see what kind of payoffs exist. Go ahead.
It's worth noting that this is also not a unique ability. This is an effect. This discard, pay a resource, deal an arcane. This is an effect that we see across all of the classes. All of the new heroes got a card in their class that has this ability. So it does seem like, at least early on, the ways to make lightning flow are not free. Like it seems like it's not going to be something like Transcend, where you're getting it at basically no value loss, or potentially sometimes even a positive value proposition with some of the Transcend cards. It does seem like there will be some amount of cost most of the time when you create these lightning flows. Although I would imagine it'll be pretty seamless in practice.
We still haven't seen Majestics. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Majestics that are just spamming out lightning flows like nobody's business, or maybe a legendary equipment that spams lightning flows.
I am really curious when they made the set where they expected old Ailio to be LL wise, because like this set seems like it should be very strong for Ailio. I mean, we've only had one like real Ailio card spoiled already, and it's already like this card's broken in Ailio, right? Nebula duality. It's
I think you have to recategorize what you think of as broken, because there's only so many slots in an Ailio deck that you can afford to run cards that are not Gone in a Flash, some Go Again attack, or instance. Like you have very few cards that are able to just be like a generic spell.
That's fair. This card is
basically, I'll just short version is it's a 0 for 3. It's a zap, but it's a lightning card, so it gets +1 if you happen to use Volzar like over a normal zap. So I think getting 1 more damage compared to something like Etchings of Arcana drawing you a card, or Mind Warp making your opponent lose a card is a pretty big difference. So I'm not sure this is like, oh my god, they're going to turbo LL now because of Nebula duality, but
I mean the power is the flexibility, right? It's a reasonable spell, or it's also basically like another shock on your opponent's turn, but
it's not a real shock because it's not an instant card type. I mean,
agree. That's true.
But
it still lets you amp Volzar on your opponent's turn, which is the important thing.
Yes.
No, because you discard it.
No.
I mean, you still amp though. Like you just play all your other instants. I'm saying, like it's
sure. I mean, come on, man. You pay 1, you discard this, and then like
no, you're playing Ailio. Your opponent's at 3. You say, okay, I just need to draw any shock in 2 instants, and they die. This works.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I just wanted to mention the other effect that we've never seen before, which is the like twice per turn instant pay 1 on a card. I
Yes,
mean,
so these cards,
we've kind of seen it with.
We have definitely seen these effects, but they tapped cogs before.
Yes, they tap cogs before.
yeah, my first thought of these is that they're going to be extremely strong and limited. Like this type of effect where you're able to, no matter what your hand cost curve is, you can make it work because you can pay 0, 1, or 2 with these. Yeah, they seem like super strong and limited, and I'm curious as to whether they'll actually see play in CC. The fact that they're a significantly lower cost to creating a lightning flow token, where the other cards are a whole card and a resource for 1 damage in a token, whereas this is like I'm just playing normal flesh and blood and I get a token if it hits. Yeah, these could either be like staples or filler, right? It's hard to say at this point.
Question. There's a macro here. Is this
Mhm.
limited only macro, you think? Or do you think this is
Yeah.
playable in the
Yes.
game macro?
That's how macros works.
How macros work is
It's
it's
Omens
just
of the Third Age macro. That's its card type.
yeah,
It's only playable in limited then? We're never going to
exactly.
get...
Yeah, that's how macros work.
Oh, sad.
No, not sad. We don't need more quivers.
I want macros.
Yeah, you have them in the draft. They fix it a draft. I do think the macro is sick though.
Yeah. Am
Not
I
as
being
fun as
tasked with
Treasure
reading
Island,
macro?
No, you're always being tasked with reading.
Okay. Omens of Arcana. Each hero starts the game with a lightning flow token. Lightning flow tokens get spell void 1. So spell void 1, interestingly, as opposed to the arcane shelter 1 of Rosetta, I think spell void 1 is an upgrade. Arcane shelter felt a little bit weird given that like you have to destroy it because you don't have arcane barrier, you just have only arcane shelter, which means you have to just destroy it on the first instance. Being able to spell void and maybe save it for a crucial time, I think, is a pretty nice upgrade.
I'm also curious how many, if any, instant speedways to make tokens we'll get in the set. I think it'll be interesting to like play around where like those cards can basically be used as like engine pieces to like if for example there are cards that can make multiple tokens at instant speed, you can use them as sort of like an Oasis Respite, like cloud cover style thing where you get a bunch of spell void out of nowhere, or you can use it as like play this early on in the game and then get my hero ability going every turn kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll also be pretty strange too, playing limited and then playing these heroes in constructed where you're like used to having like, oh yeah, I'm safe against this wizard. I have 3 lightning flow tokens out, and they just don't have spell void in CC.
Yeah.
Fair. Do you think this is all the heroes?
Yeah,
Or
I
why
think
would there be more?
Well, there would be more because it looks like there's some stupid shadow guy in the damn trailer. But I think that's just because Ziggy is like secretly evil. Not even secret. The trailer made him seem like he's an evil person. There's probably like a demi hero or like some like secret evil thing. It could be a hero, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it'd be cool. But they have
There's-
typically like just their 3. I didn't know if they're building up to something in the future or...
Yeah. There's definitely some shadow lore going on, right? Like they mentioned what is it? Irathiel, however you say it. Wraith backwards. They mentioned it in the trailer, so
I don't know. I took the
Surely
trailer as
there's
they were
some-
teaming up to fight something big. Like they were prepping for something
that
big.
was I'm pretty sure it was Aurora and Ailio were like teaming up, and Ziggy is like he's like using evil magic, and he's like
I don't
an
know.
anti-hero kind of
I
thing.
don't know. Omens of the Arcana also look like they're on the same team, looking up in the sky like something's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe they're on the same team. I don't know. This dude looks evil.
It's whatever is in CNC. It's coming through that gate.
You know why he looks
Like,
evil,
why?
Lucas? Because you're ready to play against him in the game of Flesh and Blood, and you're gonna think he's evil. That's why
That's
you think
true.
he's evil already. You're
No,
prepared.
I don't know. Come on,
If
look at this guy.
It feels like that Space Army from the new CNC from Compendium is like what's coming out of the sky.
Well, it's Shadow. That's what it is, right? It's the other dimension invading our dimension. or the current dimension.
I don't know. Maybe they should make like a Netflix show or something that we could watch all this.
Well,
on.
we know what it is because they were saying that they were protecting Arya and they're protecting what was it? It was Arya and where else?
I don't know.
Volthaven? Yeah, they're protecting Volthaven and Arya. I don't know the lore well enough. Make a Netflix show. Cody's right.
Yeah. So how do you feel, Connor?
You just call it arcane damage.
I want to know how do you feel about looking at this set, looking at all these cards? What is your emotions looking at this stuff right now?
My emotions?
No, not you.
Are that? Oh,
Connor. Sorry.
I knew who you were talking.
I really love the Ziggy, like the Ziggy aesthetic. That looks awesome. But I'm a little worried that aren't all these decks just being broken with like lightning greaves and like gone in a flash potentially. Definitely Greaves. Greaves is gonna be broken in all these heroes. You have so much Dogen if you want it. But I think this is really sick though. I like the colors of it are really cool. Like artistically, this looks sick. They were cooking when they made this one or whatever. But I don't know. Lightning's fun, but it's gonna be a lot of fast stuff. Bunch of decks that won't be able to block well though. I love that for my boom grenades. It's good clean living.
Now if I get all the ward on the board again. Okay.
Yeah.
Other Connor. New Connor. You can talk now.
okay.
How do you
I
feel?
think that
How
I
do you
want to play a
feel
lightning
looking at this
hero for US Nats. This is how I feel. Like I feel very inspired by these new heroes.
Yeah.
I think I've been kind of like down on innovating and trying to come up with something new. That's why I just keep subbing KO. But seeing all these heroes and the way that they're playing makes me extremely excited to try to brew something new for Nats at least.
Lucas, you said you had mixed feelings on this set.
Yeah, you know what I feel? I feel like I want to care. You know what I feel like? I feel like they're teasing us. Like, do you know how ridiculous it feels that we've got a new Aurora, we've got a new buff Ailio, we've got Ziggy frickin' Starlight, and I have to play like 12-month-old expired classic constructed for the next 2 months. And I have to play this stupid 20 life format where we just pretend KO's not the best deck in the format. And we got all these cool new lightning things coming out, all elemental heroes and Nats and draft is coming back. And I gotta prepare for this stupid pro tour with playing like moldy classic constructed. Like, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited, but I kind of wish that they made me wait until the keynote at Yokohama to get excited. Because
I think that's the wrong solution. The right solution is just give us these cards before the Pro Tour. Obviously, you can't do it now, but like structure the releasing of cards such that there's way more excitement heading into the big tournament, I think.
That's fine. Just make it to where I don't have to spend all of my time prepping, wishing I was playing the future. I hate when like they spoil something and then I have to prep. Like I don't even have the CC ban list for Worlds yet. And I'm already like excited to get past this stupid stale format that we've been playing for eons. Like I have to play with Temporal Wobble. Like I don't want to play with Temporal Wobble. I don't know. I am super excited though. I think all these heroes look sweet. I wish there was ice, but you know, they all look cool.
You can't have it all.
It does look like Path of Mistveil to me a little bit, where it's 3 heroes with clearly very powerful hero abilities, and very strong card pools. But I could also see it being more like a High Seas, where one of the heroes is really strong, and then the lightning flow cost is a little bit too much, right? You look at a hero like Puffin or even Marlin, right? When we first got High Seas spoiled, we were thinking that these were going to be really powerful, strong heroes, and then obviously the gold just didn't really come together. I will say the macro for this set gives me a little bit of hope, just because you only get 1 free lightning flow, so there have to be enough cards that you can make more that exist in the game. Unlike with High Seas, where like for Puffin, for example, like there really aren't cards in Classic Constructed that make gold. So I'm probably erring more on the side of thinking that most of these heroes will be good. But either way, excitement levels are off the charts. I mean, this looks sick.
Yeah, I think this set looks like a Flesh and Blood set. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
It does.
It feels designed like a Flesh and Blood set. There's like a story and stuff behind it, which is nice. They're exciting abilities. They're a mix of things that people like.
We can draft it.
We can draft it. I think all that's great. I personally don't like lightning as an aesthetic, so there's like that part that I kind of don't like, and I don't like any of the current lightning heroes that have ever existed. But I'm kind of over that just for Ziggy. So when you mentioned like, oh, you can play this lightning card with it, I was like, all right, you can play the lightning half of the card pool, not just the.
Yeah.
I'm like the illusionist. What illusionist cards can I put in here? But there's a whole lightning half.
Well, you can play Ziggy and go like Gone in a Flash.
Yeah.
Instant, like Essence of Ancestry body, go.
Yeah.
Yep. I want you to envision that.
No.
Gone in a Flash, Prismatic Shield, Iris of Reality, swing.
Oh, actually, I was thinking. I think Iris of Reality might actually be like playable. I don't know. Maybe it's coat, but you're making a lot of tokens.
I don't know. Cool.
Can Iris swing these lightning flows? Is it just any token?
No, it has to be an illusion.
No, it has to be an illusionist aura.
Oh, so lame.
No, it's probably a good thing that they didn't make it so you had a permanent hammer on the board.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Well, I mean, technically, you could do the Iris with Burn Them All, right? Maybe there'll be a similar interaction here where you could just have a free roll aura.
But this is the first time in a while. This is, I don't know, this design, this set, everything about this is why I like Flesh and Blood. Like, this is it hit all of the receptors of, this is why Flesh and Blood is such a good game, why I like Flesh and Blood. And I haven't felt this way in a while. There's been a couple of sets.
It feels like a good fab set, and you can kind of always tell when it's going to be a good fab set. Like when, like you think back, like all of the sets that I feel like we've looked back on in retrospect, and like, that was really powerful, that was really fun, that added a lot to the game. Like we think in recent memory, I'm thinking like High Seas, Rosetta, Artemis Vale as like the biggest three.
Yeah.
This feels a lot closer to that than it does like Super Slam or Compendium or even something like The Hunted.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, all of that, very excited about. New Illusionist.
Maybe it's just
with Ward, very excited about. All the Aurora players can play Aurora again, though it'll be a different version, but they can use all their cards again.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but they can use most of them again. However, we have to get through the next couple of months. And hopefully there's enough time for us to actually play this before Nationals. But I think there will.
What do you mean?
Right?
There's plenty of time. You have a week.
No. Surely more than a week.
No, US Nats is a week after this releases.
Again?
Dude, you have 168 hours. Come on, it's so much time.
Wait, that's confirmed? I didn't think they had a release date confirmed. I thought it was just in June.
Damn Skippy.
Oh. You're not even being sarcastic here?
Nope.
Oh, I'm way less excited.
Here, hold on. Let me fact check.
Wait, why would you be way less excited? Isn't that more exciting?
It's never exciting to have 1 week for us to play the format that we don't ever get to play again.
LSS seems to get excited for it every time there's a US National, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like the same annoying thing about like wanting to play Gravy at the other US Nats, and then we're just like being unable to, and then Gravy got nerfed before the US could ever actually play Gravy.
But Jacob played it
in stores June 5th, 2026. US Nationals FAB 2026. June 12th to 14th, 2026. So yeah, 1 week.
So they did the same thing. They learned nothing from the previous year, and they did the same thing.
Whatever. I think the problem is that they did learn. I think they just liked it. I don't know. I thought US Nats last year for them was a success. Like
I thought
the
it was
meta
a great
was
outcome.
new.
Like Gravy got second place, and it was a totally different list than what came after.
Sure.
Because we then figured more stuff out, but like
I can't tell if you guys are being sarcastic or not, because like literally no one liked it at the time. It came out the day of the Nats.
It was I thought it made the tournament much more exciting. Like we didn't like it because we complain about it because like it's annoying. But like in terms of making the tournament more interesting and like more compelling, and
It was
I
only
think more
annoying because of the
testing.
card availability issues.
Yeah,
I think
that's the actual problem.
it releasing 1 week before in terms of like learning how to play the deck and figuring out a deck list is fun. It's just the card availability was the only problem.
Yeah, for high season in particular, because we had no problem.
This is how
I
I
think
feel.
I
You don't
think
have to agree.
No, I think this is the
I
dumbest
think
thing
as
I've ever
long
heard.
as we get the set list like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, so that we can start drafting and start testing. Like, I don't know. Like they expect us to play. They expect us to play pro tours when the ban list is 2.5 weeks before the tournament. It makes sense that they expect us to play nationals when we
Sure.
get the set.
There's supposed to be more players in this game than just the people who play this attempting at a professional level. It is a national level competition. This is one of the things that most of the locals actually like to try and qualify and go to. And you're going to try and force them to learn a brand new set in 1 week. There's no reason. I mean, there's an obvious reason why the callings are getting less than 300 people now if you're just going to treat the US this way. This is how I honestly feel. It's very disrespectful to the player base, especially on the one competition that locals actually get to try and qualify for and actually like to go to. Go to your locals and ask them if they appreciate that the set comes out 1 week beforehand, and tell me why the casual base of this game isn't growing.
I feel like you
Everything
answered.
say is
I feel like you.
100% true.
Yeah, everything you said is true, but like we're competitive players, so
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but the game
we're-
dies without them,
Well, it's
You're right,
national.
you're right.
and the
Yeah.
callings are
Sure.
continually
If
dying.
you want to keep the competitive players going to the second highest tier of events, then yeah.
This has nothing to do. The competitive players will play it if you release it the day of, the day before, a week before, a month before, or 2 months before. So you don't design anything for them because it doesn't make any sense. But if you can't get 300 people to go to your calling, then the game's dead. I don't understand. Like you can't keep doing the type of things that then crashes the player base for the average person who wants to travel to events. And this is one of the things for a nationals, which is the one thing. If there's anything that the casual level can qualify for, it is nationals. It is the one celebrational event of the year that everyone in the US can go to. It's like a 500 person event. It passes down to top 4 in order to qualify. You could qualify from Silver Age. And now you tell them a brand new set is going to drop 1 week before that they have to prep and play for. There is no world where they're going to be happy about that. They weren't happy about high seas. They're not going to be happy about this. This is the type of thing that tanks a player base because other games don't do this to their players.
Okay, other games definitely do this to their players. Yu-Gi-Oh has released a set on the day of US Nationals, like every day since.
And people are still not happy about it. And where is
no,
Yu-Gi-Oh
I agree,
right now?
but like saying other games don't.
But where is Yu-Gi-Oh right now?
That's true. That's true. But Yu-Gi-Oh, I think
they don't have 1,700 people selling out their event and then clamoring to get tickets for it, like Riftbound. Like,
don't they have like 3,000 person YCSs like every time it goes to Europe still?
I think we should just not talk about other things that we're not 100% sure of the facts on. Just stick to FAB and Cody being right.
Like,
I think everything Cody's saying.
Please stop trying to kill the casual players. Like, this is the one thing they get to do.
That's true. That's true.
Or at least put the US like week 3 of nationals. Make like all the British people buy their boxes.
I don't know. Yes, yeah, I like
it. Dude,
we gotta smaller one.
Podcast more often.
Pick a smaller one, you know. Give us a couple weeks to marinate.
I don't know.
I agree.
We'll be fine. My point is, we will be fine. My point is, everyone that I play with every single week on Thursday at my locals, this is completely unfair for them and unenjoyable for them. And I would like, for nationals, the thing that like most of them get to go to and qualify for and play, they're playing for right now, to be a great experience. I would like the game to grow, not be a 298 person calling.
Hey, there's no shame in winning a 298 person calling. Don't you dare. I can't win a calling, and then you're like, they're BS anyway. No one plays.
No, dude, it's nice and fat. I'm not just.
Look, it's been a lot of weeks since I ranted. I had to get a good rant in there.
It's true. It's true.
Good.
But I am excited for the set. I am not excited for the timing now.
That's okay. Noah and I could be excited Very
Cody's
good.
right. We're exceedingly selfish in this topic.
Of course, but I don't mind. It's okay.
You should, because if it continually selfish, the game will die.
Oh man, game's gonna die anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Myself.
yeah, but we have exciting things. We have a new set coming out. We have one of the most popular characters ever coming back. We have a real flesh and blood type of set with what looks to be pretty cool mechanics and probably powerful enough to shape up the meta. So like all of those things are phenomenal. We haven't had those for the last two sets that have been released, and they've been kind of boring. So what?
Are you telling me Compendium of Raids didn't shake up the classic constructed metagame? Then Set got second at a calling. Cody.
I know. I'm still waiting on that Tough Nut deck to pop off. So.
Okay, I swear there's some rule in Gem. There was 3 Tough Nuts in the tournament, and the round went to time because there was a Tough Nut mirror in round 2. Like, how do the 3 Tough Nuts in the room, 2 of them get paired into each other round 2?
It was in the 01 bracket, right? It had to be in the 01 bracket, right?
We can use
man. I wasn't going to judge them like that. I was just I was enjoying the fact that they were both playing Tough Nut.
That's funny.
That's fair. It doesn't really matter what their record is. The winner is the champion nut
They
on the
both
day
won.
for sure. No, only one of them wins. Only one of them is the.
No, but they got a lit story. Come on, you get to tell the story of how you played a Tough Nut mirror.
Dude, I in a Magic tournament 10 years ago or whatever, I had this round 1 mirror with this, like, we were playing this like Esper tokens deck that would like double up these guys that gain life whenever a token comes into play, and in the mirror you just could never kill each other. And like Magic, you start at 20. It's like 20 life is the start. We ended the game in a draw after 55 minutes at like 652 to like 475 or something like that. I was like, this deck's broken. And my opponent was like, I thought the same thing, dude. And then we just did nothing for an hour. It was brutal. It's the round 1 mirror match. I was like, okay, well.
Well, another cool thing that you've probably seen, if you're listening to the podcast right now and you have not seen the New Worlds documentary that has come out, it has been released yesterday. It was the day before this. Like, you're a whole day behind. There'll be a link down in the note here, and after the podcast, not right now, after the podcast, go watch that video. I'm sure it's doing great. I'm very excited. Noah hasn't seen it yet. I don't think Connor has seen it yet. So I know what they're doing after we're done recording this podcast.
Yep.
And if you have seen it,
comment on
you comment how sad it is.
Audio quality. Please give us all of the comments letting us know that some of the audio is a little bit quiet. We need that feedback.
With that said,
let's
go over to our podcast questions. These are asked by premium members of our Metafy. If you'd like to be able to ask questions on the podcast or show your support, feel free to join. You have successfully predicted a breakout calling win for the Runaways team in Montreal. What is your next prediction for the team's success?
Vegas, baby.
Skip Nationals.
Wait, there's a Pro Tour. We're going to Yokohama soon, too.
Skip Yokohama.
They didn't ask when is the next tournament you hope you're going to do well. They asked for my prediction. I said Vegas, baby. I don't know what you guys want from me. Every time I go to Vegas, I go 13-3. So you can expect a smooth curse of the first top 8 exit from your boy. That's my prediction.
I don't know.
But no, I mean, we're killing it, man.
So far, so good.
Like it's still every major. We're in top 16. We're in top 32. Every calling, we're in the top 8. We won this one. We got second at the last one. I don't know. We'll probably win the next calling. We'll top 8 the next Pro Tour.
Well, that one's Memphis, right? In 3 weeks.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to win that one.
We're all going to be there at Memphis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you going, Connor?
No.
Yeah, Connor
I got to chill before a big excursion to Japan.
Okay.
Connor will be there.
I was going to ask you what you'd be playing, but we all know.
Connor will be there. We are going, right?
No, it's your chance to take back the name, dude. You know what's messed up is I top 4 calling in August. Like a month later, Noah top 4. Or how'd you do in Montreal? You top 8 at least.
Top 8,
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I had the name for like a month, dude. Come on.
Dude,
It
that's
took
the
so
only thing
long to get the
motivates-
name, and then I lost it.
That's the only
immediately.
thing that motivates Noah to do well in tournaments is when Connor does well in
Maybe that's why I've
tournaments.
been in the slump, man. Now you've you even did it in Montreal as well. The
I
added
got you,
BM.
dude.
Perfect. Millen asks, where do you think will be this year's Worlds? Bonus points if you try to guess the city.
We know it's going to be in Europe.
Yep.
I want Dublin.
Okay.
That'd be sick. I
I'm
feel
fine
like
with that.
we were at the UK last time.
I went
before that
Germany.
was Amsterdam.
Mm. Germany made sense too. 'Cause they,
Yeah,
just had a
Germany's the
massive
one.
Game of Steel.
If we got PT Germany, that'd be sick. I would.
And they got the law pass there, so I think
Right.
Yeah.
I think a Worlds
Do we
Germany.
wanna-
And
do
it's
we wanna
easy to
go
travel
city
to,
then?
and the German airport when I was there was phenomenal. I was very
What
much
was the
liked it.
what was the city that they had the first FAB tournament in? The Calling.
Warsaw.
You talking about the first one in Germany?
Yeah.
Hamburg?
Hamburg.
Okay, so it could be Hamburg. I'm gonna say Worlds Berlin is my official prediction. I think that would be sick. I've been to Berlin once for a world championship. I would love to do it again.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
it'll
could be
go
cool.
better this time.
I was thinking it's pretty unlikely, but it would be cool to do Athens. I've never been to Greece. I think
Oh,
playing
that would be sick.
playing a tournament in Greece would be fun.
I'd be down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be down for a not like major, like one of the smaller European countries. I think would be cool if we could host
I
there.
wouldn't be surprised if we're getting close to repeating Lille again, though.
Yeah, I could see France. I mean, it could be Paris or
No, it can't be Paris. Paris is horrendous.
Can't be Paris?
Don't do Paris.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
No.
I'm willing to believe you.
Lille is phenomenal.
Okay,
Everyone
Lille then.
everyone wants to go back to Lille. Or go to Lille for the first time if you haven't. It's great. But no, yeah, any of those places I think would be great. Hopefully we find out at Pro Tour so we can start planning.
Yeah, I would guess we probably will.
Mike at Blockout Party asks, can you name the 3 channel cards from Penn? Bonus points if you know what they do.
Okay,
I can
wait.
probably tell you what they do, but not what their name.
I can tell you one name. Let me get the one name out so I can show that I'm worth something. Channeled Ice Lock Glaze.
That's the one that
Skybreaker.
freezes.
It freezes up to 1 equipment hero or ally the opponent controls. Freeze meaning it can't be activated. It does that at the start of the turn as well as when it enters play.
There's one that says cards in opponents' arsenals are frozen. I thought that was that one.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm just completely wrong.
Because there's one that's freeze arsenals.
Isn't there the Runeblade
There's
one?
the other ice one interacts. I thought the other ice one interacted with like allies.
I don't think that's a channel. I think that's
Well,
maybe that's
there's
one I
the ally. There's the kill all the frozen allies card, but I thought there was another like interact with
Yeah, it's
frozen
not a
cards
channel.
thing.
Right.
Like there's one channel that freezes arsenals. There's one channel that's like does something with frozen cards, and then there's the Earth channel that makes 3 mites, and I couldn't tell you what that one's called.
It only makes 2
It's like-
mites, I'm pretty sure.
2 mites, yeah, it's worse. It's worse.
Yeah, only 2.
I don't know.
Oh, we failed, dude. All these
Ice.
channels
Oh, it's
suck. I
Penn.
just remember
Who
Ice
cares
Lock
about
Glaze.
Penn? No one's even opened the set. The most expensive card in the set's worth like $100. There's like, even if you sell, the crazy thing is if you take the Antiquities pack out of the box, sell the Antiquities pack for $50, which is what it goes for online, you're still negative on the box. Wild that you can open an entire box and still just can't open $60 worth of value out of it.
Yeah.
But no, let's drop a set 1 week before Nationals.
Here, give us the reveal. What are those cards' names?
Oh yeah, let's look.
Let's look.
I want to investigate what they do.
Channel Ice Lock Glaze. Channel the Skybreaker, kind of a sick name. That's the Earth one. And Channel Galcia's Cradle.
No one's ever getting Galcia's.
Oh
Cradle.
no, okay, so Noah, you got Galcia's Cradles.
I wrote,
right?
yeah.
And then Ice Lock Glaze was the one I was talking about where it freezes the arsenals.
Ice
And I
Lock
also had
Glaze
the
sounds
effect
like a really
really
good
wrong.
Ice latte
ahead.
sounds like a great ice cream flavor.
Or
Like
Ice
donut.
latte.
Ben and Jerry's flavor, yeah.
That's true.
Funny.
Okay. Connor stays winning and I stay losing. That's the TLDR.
That's story
wait.
of
Always
your
should have
life.
been.
1 second.
always
Can I
should've
do
been.
promotion? If you're still listening to this 2 hours in, also, there's a chance that me and Josh are live streaming. If not, tune back in tonight at around 8:30 Eastern. We'll be live. I'll probably give a more in-depth recap of how my weekend went, and then we'll be playing some games, testing out some of the top decks from the past weekend. Who knows? Maybe we'll play some Vincent, some Dio. I'm not sure, but it'll be a fun time regardless.
Oh, you definitely got to
The
play
ad
Dio.
read moving into the third hour of the podcast is devious.
We've really been
Well, it's not ad read.
layering it out.
I thought to mention it. I
We had-
forgot.
No, I know.
We had the Dio ad at the beginning, then we have the
Yeah.
normal one in the middle, and then at the end we have the come tune in.
Mhm.
Perfect. Perfectly spread out.
Yeah, every hour we have 0 laughs.
Well, Connor, I'm very happy that you won on Dio. It was very exciting. It was great to see your interview afterwards. Anything you want to say to close out your big win while we're all just losers here?
Nah, dude. Shout out to Dash. Cutest girl in the mech universe. No, it was sick though. But thanks to I appreciate everybody coming up to me and give me fist bumps and chat with everybody during the tournaments and everything. It's always so nice, and people always are so supportive in the FAB community. It's one of the best parts. So definitely shout out to everybody that came up and gave me a fist bump this weekend.
Well, with that, so long.